Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Hope you had a great holiday. I was Santa Claus, so we had a pretty good one. We had the boys celebrating, lots of fun, beautiful Christmas party, all that stuff. I'm joined tonight by my wife, beautiful Kimmy.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm going to continue to work on this robot painting. I'd do something else, but I just want to get this done. It's a big painting, and I don't want to just sit with this forever. So I'm just trying to, when I have time, work it up. Thanks, Guy. Yeah, I had fun with the full Santa Claus.
Luckily, it was dark enough that it wasn't actually too scary for the kids.
Yeah, that's true. Is a pretty spooky makeup. I mean, a spooky mask. Yeah, this is where I got the dragon too. You can see all the detail here. Some explosions. Started painting up the mech's legs. Adding details in here and there. Now I'm just painting up the upper body. And then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and refine the mech in Krita. I'm using Photoshop right now because I wanted to try this kind of broad brush, almost like acrylic look. Just thick paint over top the whole thing to give it less of a super tight drawing feeling and more of the painted look that I'm going for. Like on the left here, these Gundam paintings or Mecha paintings that I'm a big fan of. I'm trying to get across that type of style, so that's what I'm trying to hone in on. It'll be my version of that. It won't be exactly like that, obviously, but that's the idea. That's my inspiration, at least for this. So see how close I can get.
The white one with the green, look like an astronaut.
This one?
No, the one right before that. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen.
Oh yeah. That's the pilot floating through the air.
It's cute.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Shout out to Riley, Wigglewood Comics, for getting shared by Shane Gillis. It's a big deal.
Congrats, man.
The biggest comic working right now. I saw that story get shared and I was like, hey, I wish that it was shared from Riley's actual page.
Hi, Maddie. You listening to anime music?
Yeah, I'm listening to Gundam music. I figure these post Christmas streams aren't gonna be super populated.
Yeah.
But we're here. So regardless, you have any questions or you just want to talk about nothing, feel free. Hey Maddie, Merry Christmas.
I like his shoulder.
My guys?
That's a really cool design.
Thanks. I actually redrew it a couple times during the painting process or whatever. So I had it just be rounded before, but it was too much of the same. Everything was feeling too samey. Are we watching Dragon Ball? Nah. The boys tried to watch that and they weren't into it. What we are watching though are the like old school Dragon Ball Z movies. So that's been cool. And they watch Jackie Chan. They just watched First Strike and
Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice Guy.
Don't get that confused with A Good Man. It's a completely different movie. Different actor.
Just as much high stakes action though.
The phone.
Yeah, Steven Seagal's solid. Just solid in the belly.
Sitting down for all of his sniper shots. Just at a dining table.
That was something I used to do all the time with Dan back in the day. We'd like, whenever we went up to New Hampshire, there was this old like VHS store. We would just rent those movies, or not that because that's new, but like movies like that, and just watch them and just be lazy and just hang out and write stories and stuff. But it's so hard to want to watch that sort of thing now. Like to just watch like a really bad Steven Seagal movie just for the fun of it, just to like make fun of it. I'm like, I can't waste my time doing this.
Watching a review on it is plenty enough. Like seeing clips, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I got a taste for what it is. I didn't waste an hour and a half of my life.
Like devoting time to watching just the worst stuff to laugh at it. Like it is a good exercise in like learning what not to do. Like that's one of the pieces of good advice. I think it was Alan Moore. He had like a writing class that I bought, and one of the pieces of advice in it was read bad books. Like if you read books that are really good, then you'll start to think like that's what it takes, to get your foot in the door, is to be like this master storyteller and all that. But if you read bad books, then you start to realize like, oh, I could do this. Mm-hmm. It gives you a bit more confidence. It makes it more real. And then when you try to do it, it's less daunting because like worse things have made it. So like I find that advice actually pretty helpful, especially like this is not a knock on like Marvel comic writers or anything. I'm not into that stuff, so like some of it's really good and some of it's just like throwaway, and like knowing that that's comics that are being published, that was very reassuring for me. Like, not to say the comics were terrible, but it was something that I felt I could do. I was like, that's not too far from what I'm capable of.
And Tom Williams says, read bad books as in Stephen King's On Writing book.
Yeah, I mean, it's advice I've heard in multiple places. I have that book too. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yes, Jacobo, I'm a nurse by trade. I'm not working as a nurse right now. I guess it depends on what made you nauseous. Nauseated.
Somebody's asking advice.
How do I make the nausea go away? I guess it depends. Did you eat something? Do you have some sort of sinus infection? Are you low on electrolytes? Are you don't know.
Yeah, I honestly feel like as much as it sucks, maybe watching Steven Seagal movies, if you want to get into making things, is a good idea. Mm-hmm. Just because you go, all right, maybe I'm setting the bar too high for myself. I could do this.
Alejandro Valencia says, do you use 3D?
No 3D. This one's actually like almost, not almost. It's pretty much entirely from imagination. I didn't look at anything except for like outfits, and then I have this like inspiration on the left here. But that's obviously not a direct reference.
Cody says, I can only afford to do one or the other. Attend Lightbox in the fall or take a course taught by Winona Nelson in the spring. What do you think is more important, networking or coursework? Depends on your skill level, doesn't
Networking.
it? Oh no.
I think
Networking.
actually going to a place and being around a bunch of artists is more impactful. It's funny. I didn't know Winona was doing that. I haven't heard her name in a long time. I knew her when I was like 21. That's when she was going by, I think it was Noni on concept art.
I feel like I've heard the name. I feel like you've told me, potentially, or maybe Dan has told me about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't like seen her post anything though on like social anything. I don't know if she does that still. I'm also not super active on anything though, so I don't really see anybody's work.
I have a question for the chat. There's a couple people in here from Brazil, and there is a potential of us going to Portugal at some point. Potential. What is the best way to learn Portuguese? What is the best resource? Easy, basic Portuguese. Because I see them speaking the language, but I can't read it. I mean, I can read it. I have no idea what it says. It sounds like Cody says that Winona is doing courses for Smart Academy. I believe 14 weeks, small classes, illustration focused, etc.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really? Portugal Portuguese sounds different than Brazilian Portuguese?
Yeah.
So how do I learn Portuguese that I can use in Portugal? Do you know any resources?
I just recently rewatched that Senna documentary. By the way, to all my Brazilian Portuguese buddies, I'm going to celebrate the national Senna holiday.
That's so funny.
Gotta get back on it.
I understand there will be English speakers, and that's amazing, but I want to at least try a little bit. And also, a little patronizing to tell me to Google something. I'm asking you guys. I know I can Google something. I'm not a boomer. I don't know if you know that. I know that
Google
the internet exists. The reason I'm asking you is not because I forgot about the internet. It's because I wanted to connect with the people watching.
They are right, though. Can we Google it?
God, just Google it, you stupid idiot. Human connection. Talk to a computer. They know better than all of us. I want Dave to see all the beautiful Portuguese men.
It's true.
Hi, hello, good morning. Sorry, but I don't know how to Google or speak any language other than English. That's a phrase that I should learn how to say in Portuguese. Sorry, but I don't know how to Google or speak any language other than English. What's Google? Nothing says Christmas like Kim eviscerating members of the chat.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And a Happy New Year. You have to amp it up at the end of the year so that when you hit those New Year's resolutions, you hit them really hard. You know what I mean?
No.
You just have to get really aggressive with everyone around you so that you can tackle those resolutions. It'll be nothing. It won't feel intimidating, you know? You've cut everybody down around you. Now cut down those goals. Will there be a holiday season mousetrap this year? We really wanted to do one for Halloween. We didn't even do that.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, we just have to coordinate it with Dan
Yeah.
and make sure we actively do it. But I have a window of about, what, I don't know, like a week probably, until my work starts up again. So putting out the bat signal.
Adrian says that he practically watches the same live twice because he watches it later with automatic subtitles and he's in the cat. I wonder how well those work. I've never done that.
It works alright.
Does it?
Yeah. I use that.
What was your favorite thing I made for Christmas?
I mean, I know that you bought this, but the porchetta was definitely the best thing that we had as far as like a dish goes. But then Kimmy made a ton of desserts.
We didn't have the sticky toffee pudding. That probably would be the best.
Yeah, probably. But she made these like pistachio. They have a dumb name. What is it? Like
Find it.
Schlishwashies,
No.
crumble greens.
Close.
It's some dumb name. I can't.
Pistachiaroos.
Pistachiaroos. There you go. Yeah, they're like pistachio cream and I don't know what else is
It's
in
like
them.
a pistachio Rice Krispie treat with
Yeah.
a chocolate top.
But it's like I mean, I don't know. I don't like Rice Krispie treats. I think they're gross. But these ones are so fucking good. And yeah, I just never had one that tasted like that. It just tasted like adult dessert as opposed to super, super sweet little kid stuff. I really liked it a lot. The Billionaire Shortbread is really good.
The cookie bars.
Yeah, the cookie bars. I mean, she made so many. How many did you make in total?
I made chewy molasses cookies. I made homemade caramels with vanilla cream. I made chocolate shortbread cookies. I made cookie bars with strawberry jam and orange marmalade jam. I made Billionaire Shortbread. I made pistachiaroos. I made candied oranges dipped in chocolate.
Yeah.
I made pavlova, and I made sticky toffee pudding. So that's all the desserts that I made, and that was 9 things.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was all the desserts, and then we made food too.
And keep in mind that all of those are really good. Like, it's not like any of those are phoned in. They're all really good. So it's pretty incredible.
Cody says, recently I've been realizing I really enjoy doing historical illustrations, like World War II stuff, old Greek and Roman stuff depicting moments in history. Is there any market for that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a market for, really anything. It's
I mean,
like
there's
so.
a market for, what did you call it? What was the Garfield hentai? Just
What was it?
just that, just Garfield hentai.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything.
It was its own genre. Dave created a genre.
They call
all
it
on its own.
genre-defying. Genre-defying fiction. That's what they
And
call
that's
it.
why it got so popular, because it was new, it was fresh.
People said, "What is this?"
We didn't even know there was a market for this. There is.
Yeah, I created it.
Yeah,
No, but
definitely a market for that.
yeah, you just need to like. It's really important to get outside of your bubble and realize like how big the space is, really, because you can do anything you want. You know, like even making a market for yourself by being prolific and like doing a bunch of work, like those people will find you eventually. But it's also about being in front of the right people. Like you just have to get into whatever those circles are, because that exists and there's collectors for that sort of thing. But you just have to find where they are. Like you think about it like I don't know, like literally anything. Like I had a buddy that like, well actually I can tell you from my own experience. We were doing Steve Lichman, right? And like if I had only followed the advice of my followers, like people on Instagram and stuff, then I would have abandoned Steve at some point, because they didn't like it. Not that much. It was like a cute thing I was doing, like, but it wasn't like art that they followed me for or whatever. Just like the people that knew me for doing that, they didn't like that necessarily. Like they didn't even understand why I was popular, because it wasn't like highly rendered and all this other shit. So like it took me getting away from the group of people that already knew me for whatever I was doing and being in front of new people to get the reaction that like I thought it would get. Like I wanted people to be like laughing at the jokes and have like the art style be like this thing that complements the humor, as opposed to it being the defining reason why you're reading it. And yeah, like that was like a big wake up call for me to be like, oh, okay, if I want to be a success at this thing, like I need to be in front of people that actually appreciate this sort of stuff. So like even if people maybe seem like they are not into it when you start, it doesn't mean that there's not a market for it. You just need to find the people that like it. But I was going to say Miles Johnston because that's somebody I know who started out as one thing and then ended up getting into fine art. Oh, is Riley in the chat now?
Mm-hmm. I said congrats.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he said congrats on groundbreaking desserts. To me, it doesn't even compare.
Yeah, I said it at the top of the stream, but basically, congrats to Riley, Wigglewood Comics, for getting shared by Shane Gillis. It's such a big deal. Like, I just think anytime somebody who's doing the thing that you're starting to do, like anytime they see you and recognize that it's funny, that's like, I mean, that affirmation's so important.
Yeah, that's gotta feel good.
It's great.
That's gotta get you bricked up, you know? You know what I'm saying?
I do know. I was bricked
I bet
up
you're
when I saw
super
it.
excited.
Oh, that's why I like messaged Riley like right away when I saw it. I was like, yes. Yes.
That is really exciting. I want it. I want you to stop downplaying it. Live and enjoy this, because all of the build up to everything you've been doing, that's when you really enjoy it.
Yeah, it will pay off. You just have to keep going.
It starts to become more regular, and maybe it won't be as like overwhelming of a feeling when it's brand new. This is like soak it up, you know, in like a positive way, like feel it. Pop a bottle of Martinelli sparkling cider.
You had to sit down for a second. Good, man.
So Adrian doesn't speak English, and so that's why he's just watching it.
Right.
And he was saying like how learning from observation is universal. And I just asked if my jokes translate well. Do they still land? And he said, from the laughter, I know it's a joke. Sometimes I can understand. So I'm just in the corner laughing all the time. And it may or may not actually be funny in Portuguese. Guy said, did the texture from the dragon, got balls on the mind. Dragon looks like syphilis due to the fact he's coming from the Mecha crotch?
Yeah, it was the initial theme. If you're not totally caught up on what the theme of this is, because there's pig soldiers here, it's basically about
this guy fucked with pigs.
It's about the battle that you have with masturbation. And it's about how and it's about these pigs. They're never gonna win. If you're a pig and you're always, you know,
so stupid.
you're always pigging out. You're always pigging out on porn. You're never gonna win, no matter what you do to fight the dragon. So that's what it is. That's why it's in such a dangerous place there, coming out of the crotch.
I see. Wow. It feels slightly political.
Oh, whatever. It's also about China, I guess.
Did you tell the chat about the guy standing behind us in the food court?
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of China.
Yeah, it's a serious battle that you'll never win. It's also a weird thing. It's weird to do like, you know, No Nut November. I don't know how healthy that actually is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those guys are ready to kill people by December 1st.
Like people who actually honestly do that, like I don't think it's like super good for you to just not come at all.
Well,
you know?
That's what the incels have been trying to say. They need to come.
They come so bad.
They have so much rage. They're getting attacked by pigs. The dragon's gonna win.
The dragon's coming for us all.
Have you played Armored Core 6 at all? Good designs there.
I haven't. I'm an Armored Core fan, but I haven't actually played that one. That's one I could download. I totally forgot that existed again. Somebody mentioned it last stream because I was painting this.
Is this like an Armored Core? I don't even know what Armored Core is.
Armored Core is like a mecha game. You build up like a mech, and then I don't know what the new one is like, but the old ones where you build up your mech with parts and then customize it depending on like what you're doing, and then it's like a fast-paced like mech combat game. That's cool. I played it when I was young, Armored Core 2, and I really liked it a lot. I'm honestly just waiting for the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD collection to come out so that I can play it with the kids and tell them the story. They like watching RPGs and listening to the story. can finally learn about the ravages of Luca Blight. So important.
Eric says, did your project with Other Side Games get announced? The Thick as Thieves games?
No, I didn't work on that. Did I work on that?
I don't sound familiar.
I didn't like work on it. I know that whole team, but I wasn't on that team. I like hopped in. What did I do for that? I did, I think, like 3 or 4 concepts, but it's not at all what you saw like in that trailer. I'm sure eventually like they'll talk about it, but yeah, like a lot of the stuff that I did is kind of just it wasn't even like a part of it by the end. I was real early days with like the development of that. That's why they initially hired me, actually, was to work on that, and then they saw some of my other work and realized that I was a better fit for their other game, and so I started working on that, and then I worked on that game for like 3 years. Which technically I can like hop in and out of that game right now. I just haven't really wanted to like go back and do the same sort of thing I was doing. I just needed like a break. I've been working on it for too long. I don't know when that one's gonna get announced.
Aaron Carlisle says, love that you're streaming these, man. Much love.
Thanks. I love streaming it. I'm happy to be painting like this again.
Yeah. You have seemed much more satisfied with what you've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Like enjoying it. I feel like you can tell.
Yeah, I actually found something that clicks. Like the problem with not really like enjoying a painting style is that it's so hard to commit to like a huge painting and feel cool about it. Just being like, I don't know. Like, yes, I could do something, but am I gonna like it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just don't get excited if I don't think the process is gonna be fun, because I know what kind of work is ahead of me. But now that I have this style that I'm doing, that I did on like that dinosaur versus, or lizards versus wizard painting, it's like I have a firmer grasp on what I'm trying to do. So with that in mind, coming into painting again feels very exciting. So I'll put a ton of time into a drawing, as I know that the execution is going to come to me. It's going to be like pretty natural. It's not going to be stressful or a lot of guesswork.
Well, this isn't for something. This is just your personal piece, right?
Yeah, this is just for me. I mean, really, it's for the boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they were the ones who initially asked for this.
Guy says, I remember that around this time last year you were doing the Gundam fan art. Amuro?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think December is your Mecha month? Maybe coincidentally.
Yeah, I might circle around to it. That might be like my period. It's like once a year.
Every 12 months.
I need to
around
shed.
holidays. Shed the lining of my brain.
Yeah, I need to shed my Gundam lining.
Your Gundam period.
Yeah.
Just the period of doing Gundams.
Mm-hmm.
So recently we're trying to learn more about Yule traditions, because our kids' school is basically pagan.
Yes.
And so they're doing all these festivals that we're like, what is happening? What are these?
And our kids come home and like sing these like pagan songs.
And they're so cool, and we're like, I've never heard of any of these things, but it's so interesting. So we marched around our house burning sage, say, evil spirits be gone. Evil spirits be gone. Evil spirits be gone. And we just followed a train of burning sage.
It's so funny. The kids love it.
It was really magical. It was very cute. I wish we had our cloaks already.
I know.
Just marching through the house with our dragon amulets and cloaks.
Yeah, this Christmas was very like
Fantasy.
And magic and dress up and all that stuff. It's really cute. Having kids that like fully believe in magic and like mystical shit. Trolls.
I was showing Gigi. I was showing her the pictures of the boys on the fridge with Santa.
Yeah.
And I was like, they love it. Axel loves Santa so much. Like he is so into it. He's our older one. And I was telling them, like, we go to this mall and then there's an elevator going up and it's a glass elevator, and as we're leaving, we already did the pictures with Santa. My 5-year-old is drawing a heart on the glass for Santa because he loves Santa so much. It's like you can't make these things up. It's so funny. Like, what? Okay.
So
he
cute.
loves Santa. It's so adorable. So, if you've seen mine or Dave's post of him being Santa, that's why we go all out, because it's like so magical for them. That's why I bake 9 desserts. They help me too, you know. I didn't just do all of it by myself. They wanted to help. That's like part of the fun of the holidays, you know.
What's really funny too is they were like, they were worried about giving Santa too many sweets because he's already fat, so they don't want to kill him.
Meanwhile, Dave's in a mask, full head mask, like covers his entire head and his ears and his mouth and his nose. And then he put a Santa beard on top of that, and a Santa wig, and a Santa hat, and a pillow in this big suit, and he's just like trying to
I
be
almost
jolly.
had like a full-blown panic attack. I like needed them to be done with Christmas, and they weren't coming down the stairs at first.
I didn't hear you.
I was going, oh, just yelling it out for them to come, and then nobody came. Then I'm just like, I can't breathe. I can't like see.
I was wondering how long you had been doing that. I was like, it feels like it's taking a long time. I read a whole story. I was like, I guess I'll read you guys a second story. I was waiting. I kept checking my phone. I was like, is he gonna text me? Is he like? And then all of a sudden, yeah, I hear the loudest. Oh, so loud.
It's like suffocating. It's so claustrophobic and terrifying.
And then,
the only thing that wasn't like covered was just my nose. I
So-
mean, not my nose, my eyes. It wasn't, but they were like creasing into my eyes. The mask is so tight.
so the funny thing is,
Shit.
we baked a lot of those cookies. We baked for Santa. Like, we baked cookies for Santa. But Dave's like, I don't think I can get past the fake beard and the mask and actually eat anything and make it look not fucking crazy. So
Yeah, no, the most fucking insane thing ever to just be crushing a cookie against my face.
like pushing it through a slot.
Having it shatter all over me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah, that would have been so funny.
It would have looked like that scene in Stranger Things where that lady's in the basement eating the mulch.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It would have been like, I mean, it looked similar to the I Think You Should Leave, the guy in the mall doing pranks.
Yeah. I can't let all this fucking shit on me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't want to be here anymore.
No, seriously. Having that on was so terrifying to me. After like at first it was fine. And then like give it you know, however long it took. It was a while.
I honestly think
I
you were
just
still
started
recovering
losing
from
it.
it after Christmas because you were like, I need to take a walk. I just feel like a little out of it. I feel like you were still recovering 24 hours later. Like you were just feeling super claustrophobic. Now all these people are in our house.
I was just burning brush and like sticks and stuff in the yard for like 3.5 hours that morning, just breathing in smoke. So I like already couldn't breathe that well.
2 days in a row.
I was just not okay. I was just high and fucked up.
That was so funny.
Oh yeah, Escaflowne is great, Aaron. I love Escaflowne. That was like the coolest shit ever when I was a kid.
What is Escaflowne?
It's like a really, it's kind of like bio mech, but like ancient medieval knight type stuff. Like it's like a huge mech suit this dude wears, and it's really cool. The style is great. I was big into it for like a while.
Yeah, I think Axel would have caught on. Maddie asked.
For sure. That's
That's why
kind of
he
the
wore
point.
the mask, because it's like you would be able to see like his eyes and his nose and like his mouth if he didn't wear that mask. And he's like getting so much smarter. So if he didn't recognize Dave, I feel like that would be an issue. He's 5. He should probably be able to recognize Dave in a disguise.
Like I'm pretty good with voices and like impressions and that sort of stuff, but like not where he wouldn't catch on eventually. I can get away with it for a little while.
Oh, interesting. Nobu Teru Yuki. Sorry, probably said that terribly. The character designer of Escaflowne is amazing. Still working as a key animator, and he's old. That's cool. Isn't it in Japan that you choose a career and that's just your career until you die?
Basically, yeah.
You don't really change paths.
Well, it's like a big
right?
deal when you leave a place
Yeah.
and go to another company or something.
Maddie said she was impressed by your Santa voice. Not gonna lie.
Oh, really? That I wasn't really doing it. Not in that video because I didn't want to be too loud.
Yeah, your impressions are pretty good. But I could totally see the mask, and it was so scary to me. And I kept trying not to laugh. I don't feel like the video really captures how well you can see how gross. More because I already knew. I think it was passable for the kids, but just because like I knew it was a mask, I could see it. It's funny that you can see a little me in the corner of your screen. Like blurry.
I mean, there's a little me in the corner too.
But there's a little me in the little you corner.
Oh, you.
Oh, I
that's what you're
sent a
talking
video
about.
to Maddie.
Oh, you sent her the actual video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Maddie has special privileges. She's my friend in real life.
She saw the behind the scenes
Uh-huh.
real Christmas. Okay. This is actually fairly decent progress on this stream so far.
It wasn't a scary Santa mask. It was a Santa costume on top of a really nice, like really premium latex full head mask. That was like an old man mask.
You know, like those masks, if you've ever seen somebody put on like a mask for like a movie and they got to kind of like ripple it over their skin over and over because it fits so snug. It's one of those.
It's like like a latex stocking over your head.
So it fits like
It's
airtight.
like tight to your face.
So if you're not cool with that sort of thing, it's a bit claustrophobic.
And then he put a Santa costume on top of that.
Plus I was like
He was
rushing because like the whole illusion is that they're going to bed and then I'm still me, I'm still Papa, and I'm gonna go, see Santa, help him, and then
he's
Santa's
like,
gonna come in.
Watch the reindeer for the Santa. For Santa.
Yeah, so I like run out of there and like I'm quickly like putting on the costume, shoving that thing over my face, putting everything on top of it, and then I'm
Putting
like
the
trying to
pillow.
see my boots to put on, and I like can't see it
You
because
have
of
a
the
pillow in your
mask and the
chest,
beard.
too.
Yeah, and I'm just starting to get short of breath. And then I start panicking because I can't get enough air into the mask. And I'm like, and then I have to like chill when it's finally time to like, okay, you got everything on now. You got to do Santa. And the clock was ticking.
Yeah.
I had to get in and out. I had to
Yes.
do that and be out
Yeah,
before
it is
I
a silicone
collapsed.
mask. Yes, it's like the masks at the beginning of Good Time.
No, it's tighter than that. It is tighter
It
than
is
that
tighter than
mask.
that. It's like it like
It
suctions to your
moves.
face.
It moves with your face.
Yeah, it moves with like if you express yourself, like if you open your mouth, if you
Raise your eyebrows.
raise your eyebrows. It's like skin tight. It was like a Father's Day gift from me. It was a gift for you for some reason. I just thought it was like a really nice, like premium.
It's because I was buying crazy masks at the time,
Yeah, and I was like, I just want to get a really nice one. for
going
him.
through my schizophrenic phase.
Yeah, we have a lot of masks.
Yeah, I have like
That's
a
a weird
little
thought.
Chinese boy mask that I have. It's insane. That I can't wear because, I don't know, I'm too racist.
What are you talking about? What mask is that?
You remember?
Do
It's
I?
the one with like hot pink lips and stuff, and like
I don't know if
it has Asian eyes.
You have to get it out because I need to see it now. Maybe I should wear that the next time we do Mousetrap.
It's so scary. It's like a serial killer mask.
That's fine.
Yeah, that one's a problem. I can't wear that.
That's actually really funny. Wigglewood said, I'm imagining your kids going to school and telling their friends Santa has anxiety.
Santa's having
Santa
heart palpitations
Yeah.
at my house.
we dropped off cookies for neighbors, and as we're delivering them, our boys are very like just friendly to everybody. And so they were like, yeah, we're going to leave a protein shake for Santa. Because we don't want him to get too fat and then die. And I was like, whoa, guys. And then, like, their kids are, like, right there. All right, Santa's not dying, guys. Let's go. Next house, please.
And then Loic, the 4-year-old, he's just going, well, Axel first says, like, I think Santa, probably goes house to house at, like, light speed or something like that. And then the lady at the door is like, oh, yeah, that's smart. Maybe. And then Loic goes, light speed is the speed at which light travels to your eyes from the stars. I'm just like, you guys, chill.
There's school and probably our lifestyle. We're seeing what kind of people we're raising. It's really funny.
Just Dwight Schrute energy.
I love it, though.
It's cute.
It is really funny. But they don't say it like punks. They're really cute.
No.
They're like sweet about it. They're not like.
They're not like, well, actually.
Yeah, no.
They don't do that.
They're very cute about it. Shoulda worn that Chinese mask on your wedding. Do different masks awaken different personalities?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you
This,
will not.
yes, us. That's.
Yes. You know, it's really funny. You know, depending on who you ask, I guess. But if you're asking me, you know, it's really funny. If you go on Amazon, and like it's the same idea as like if you were around for when we did the, like just reading 3-star sex toy reviews, because it's the funniest type of review you can read, because it's somebody with a real concern, but they kind of enjoyed it at the same time.
Yeah, they're like.
So the nuance of it's terrifying. those are the funniest reviews to read, in my opinion. But anyway, in that same vein, if you look up like different racial masks on Amazon, look for ones with video reviews. It's always a white dude wearing like another race. He goes, "This is pretty good," and then he does like a black guy impression or like an Asian
No.
impression, and it's
know if I've
just
ever
so
seen this.
insane. It's
That's
so
so funny.
funny. I watched so many of those.
Aaron says, we're gonna find out later that the kids knew it was us the whole time. Like that it was you, and we went through all this trouble.
Yeah, Dad was fucking nuts. He would just pretend he's Santa and have a full-blown panic attack in front of me in a mask. And
24 hours later, he was still recovering every Christmas.
yeah, Dad would need a minute. Dad would go somewhere when he put on that mask. We're lucky if we got him back.
We did get an alien face mask that looks half human. It looks like the bottom half of the face is human and the top half is alien. It's really funny.
It's scary too.
Yeah.
The theme that all our masks have in common is horror.
Yeah, they're all like, if it's like a good mask, that's really creepy because it's like really good. And then if it's a bad one, it's really creepy because it's terrifyingly bad.
Like when someone's wearing a loose skin mask. Somebody. Like Leatherface.
Do you have a mask in mind that you want to get for your next birthday?
Are you asking me that or is the chat?
I am. What race do you want to imitate?
I don't know. Whatever's the funniest.
I wish I could get you like a realistic Asian one and then just have you wear it to like all the Asian holidays since that is coming up. That would be so funny. And then like go back to that shop and get you a new shirt, like a whole outfit. And just wear the mask. Like too bad. Because all the ones that they have are like old men or like monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I got it at Savage Silicone, I believe. They're pretty pricey. It's not like a... It's like this is a nice gift, I would say. Like an investment. We only have one of those. All the rest are from like Etsy or like Temu.
What we need to do if I get an Asian mask is we need to go out to an Asian restaurant with the whole family.
Oh my
and then
God,
I need
no.
to just be
That's
sitting
so
there with the
scary.
mask on.
That's so scary. Like with our kids in between us, like whose kids are these?
And then when the guy looks at me like, what's going on? I go, Jai.
That's great. Okay, do that.
Jai Dukai. Eh? Let's do that. Eh?
Lots of nah. Can you say that? Nah.
Nah.
John Pearson said chopsticks that are like 2 feet long. That would just be so stupid. That'd be so patronizing. Is there a term for that kind of anxiety horror? I don't know.
I don't know. Claustrophobia is as close as I can get.
Yeah. Riley just said, "Look, I love those hidden gold mines of crazy people on the internet.
Yeah.
Like looking up famous tragedies on DeviantArt and seeing Sonic the Hedgehog mourning the victims of 9/11.
Yeah. That was that thing that we watched the other day of just the like gymnastics routine at that high school or whatever, where they were doing a reenactment of 9/11 with the cheerleaders or something. Whatever it was. It was a cheer thing about never forget.
Oh, it was so...
If
It
you've
was
seen
too
that.
literal. They would like do their stunts and stuff for the cheer. It was like athletic cheerleading, and they were doing like flips and back handsprings and all that stuff. And then they were like getting people in a tower, and one was an airplane, and her classmates were guiding her over to go hit the tower of students, and there was 2 of them.
I mean, it's pretty wild. It's brave.
Interesting performance.
It's a brave choice. I mean, that feels like something you just do as a joke. Like just to fuck around. Oh no.
Sorry.
Okay. Alright, so soft light. Alright. See you later, Aaron.
Dave, was there a moment where color clicked for you? Do you remember what that moment was?
Where it clicked. Studies is kind of where it clicked the most. Was like I just couldn't find another way to do studies other than doing them like straight in color. So I just made myself start to get like used to it. And then I fought it forever, like getting into doing color in my work, like starting that way. And then eventually I just said like, well, you know, if I can build up to it, maybe I'll be cool with it. Like as long as the process of like getting to the color, as long as that was okay and it wasn't just immediate opaque color, I'd be all right. So then I started like building up in Clip Studio, and I think like that's where I got the most comfortable with it. But even then, like my colors are they're not like very realistic, generally speaking. They're kind of on the more saturated side when I do use a lot of color. And for a while that was something that like bothered me, because I wanted to be like a more realistic painter. But then I realized that like that was the thing that people seemed to like about my work, was that it was you know, that was like more my thing, I guess, was that like my work leaned more colorful. So then I started just being cool with that. Just saying like, okay, I'll aim for this goal, but I know inevitably it's going to end up very colorful, and that's fine. But yeah, it was just repetition, because I don't know, like you can get uncomfortable about doing anything. It's like anything you're not used to doing is going to be new, and you know, you're gonna feel weird about it. But if you do it over and over, you get used to it, and then eventually it's just what you do. It's kind of just jumping into the deep end of whatever it is that you want. It's like, if there's something you're afraid of doing, do that. Generally speaking, that's the best way to go. The saying, what you fear doing most is what you most need to do, I mean, it's a very poignant thing. It's very true.
This question's for you. Monitors often have different colors. How do you analyze colors and contrast in your artwork?
Well, I have one of those like Apple. Well, I have the Mac Pro, but the colors in that are pretty good. So I feel all right looking at least the final and that monitor. I think that the Wacom, it's okay for color, but it's not incredibly accurate. So yeah, I'll look at things in my Apple monitor, but even then, it's I don't know. If it's close enough, I'm cool with that. Like I'm not a perfectionist about how the print comes out. I know that's probably a lot of people care a lot about that. I've just never been super particular about it.
Wow.
What's up?
That looks so good.
Oh, thanks. Probably gonna dull the soft light layer a little bit. I don't think it needs that much contrast right now. Okay. Well, let me save this first. Mikey Mega says XP pens come so hot out the box you have to dial down all the reds. Yeah, sometimes it's worth getting like a calibration tool for your monitor just to make sure that everything's reading correctly.
You still have that monitor, right?
Which one?
That one that had the like color reading thing that like popped out.
Yeah, but I don't really care for it too much. I think like they're helpful, but they're not a necessity. I looked at a lot of my like book printing things in that, and that was cool. But even then, I wasn't like, I need this. Didn't I paint that stuff? Maybe I didn't. I'm looking at the ground here. I'm like, did I ever do anything here? No. What did I actually touch? Just that. Okay. Alright. Save this, and then I'm going to get working on the mech in the next program. Okay, let me hide my screen for a second while I transfer over to Krita. I always forget to clear out all the thumbnails that pop up right when Krita opens so that you can see every single project I'm working on. I'm working on the Wacom Pro 32-inch. It's fine. Except when it's not. When the pixels freeze. I don't know what the new one is. I haven't used it yet, so that one might be a lot better. But generally speaking, I would much rather use the Wacom Pro line ones just because I know that they're generally better. Wow, it's taking a long time to load. Krita hates huge files. I used the Wacom Mobile Studio. I used whatever the latest-ish version of that was on our previous vacation in New Hampshire, and it was okay. I wouldn't use it though, for anything serious.
Yeah, that's right. That's the only time you really used it, huh?
Yeah, and I was just, it was fine.
It was really slow, wasn't it?
Yeah. So now that I'm in Krita again, I can start adding in some more of the little details and things. Sharpen up some of the edges I might have lost. And then I'll use the palette knife to do some of the blending that I was doing on the dragon. If you see a lot of that around the edges.
I'm just watching you paint too. you're listening to. People said that it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's just Gundam music.
Mm. Knight's House Game says, from this angle, it looks like the mech is tickling the dragon and the dragon is laughing.
It's very possible. Sometimes you need to take a keep it going.
It fits in with the theme.
Mm-hmm. Look cool so far.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Will there be any art challenges coming up?
Yeah, it'll probably be a normal one. It won't be like so intense as the other ones.
Yeah,
Or-
we had to take a break because that last one took a long time to finish.
Well, it was
We're
just that
doing-
we had to reevaluate like what to do because I was like, oh, the reason I wasn't doing them now is because it just took so long for me to paint over everybody's stuff. So the next one is going to be entries and then roulette to see who gets the paint overs and doing like a handful of them at random from the entries.
Could we revisit old ones like F-Zero and Bloody Roar?
I mean, I wouldn't do that to like, you know, just because I don't want to go back and have everybody redo the same things they already did. But feel free to do that on your own if you want. If you want to go back through and try the challenges.
Yeah. And see what your level is now. If you did it in the past, like if you participated already. It's a good idea.
I mean, like I did that before for concepts when I was a part of like, different forum communities online. So I would just see something and be like, "Ooh, I actually had an idea for that. I didn't do this challenge, but I could think of something really cool, you know, like coming from it." I was like, okay. So then I would just take that idea and do my own thing. So kind of what I'm doing now is just basically like reintroducing a lot of like the contrast in detail. Hopefully it looks good.
Crazy to think of how the comic challenge was quite literally life-changing for me. Aww. You like unlocked a skill you didn't even know you could do. Maybe. Were your Black Witch artwork personal works? I liked your painting style.
Wait, what was that last part?
I liked your painting style.
Thanks. Yeah, I can do the same sort of thing now with that. Like, basically what I did with that dinosaur lizard painting was like essentially Black Witch, just a little less detailed. A lot more implied stuff.
I'm listening to a book called The Black Witch, and it has nothing to do with Dave's Black Witch. But it's about mages and Icarals and love. That reminds me of the Bog Witch Gumroad tutorial that helped me many moons ago.
I'm happy to hear that these things are helpful. All I ever wanted to do with that sort of thing was just get it out to people that like I'm learning all these things the same as you. Like I'm not perfect. Here's what I figured out so far.
It's very nice. He said his style has changed a lot since then. If I didn't know his anatomy, I would say he's not the same artist.
this mostly worked out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Tightening things up. Could you see that when I was like turning things on and on?
Mhm.
That looked cool.
Mhm.
Hard for me to see it, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back and forth between my screen and your screen because I can see over your shoulder a little bit. It looks really good. What are Dave's top 4 movies to watch?
You gonna guess?
Rumble in the Bronx. No, what are they? I don't know your top 4. I know a lot of movies that you like. Braveheart is probably one of them.
No.
The one 300, but not that one. The one that I can't. What is the movie called? The one that I can't remember the name. The Gladiator? Is that
That's
it?
so funny that you thought that was
Is it?
No.
Um.
My top that I can like watch over and over. One of them is probably The Matrix, which I know is like very basic,
Yeah. Okay.
but that's
Matrix.
just because how solid it is. It's
Mhm.
just such an easy movie to leave on in the background. Weirdly, another movie that I like a lot is like Moneyball. Like Moneyball's a movie I could like leave on whenever.
Yeah, you have watched that movie quite a few times, huh?
Yeah, that one's really good. Not a top 5, but I'll leave like Interstellar on for that same reason. I think that's really solid, just like leave it on in the background type of movie for me. I like the soundtrack, you know, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the whole anime side of things where like I could leave on I could leave on like a bunch of stuff, like anything like Akira or like the Fatal Fury movies. I like the animation in that.
Big Trouble Little China.
No. What else? Let me actually think about it for a second. If I looked at like what I've watched, I could tell you.
Do you know what I really want to watch right now?
What?
I want to watch it with the boys. The Pink Panther movies. I feel like they'll love that.
Yeah, Pink Panther is actually really good. The Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies.
So stupid.
Some of those like Naked Gun movies are really good too. They're just like really dumb jokes. Police Squad, not a movie, but that's really good for that same reason.
What are the 4 worst movies from Dave and Kim? Well, A Good Man is probably the worst movie.
4 worst movies.
What were we watching the other day? It was moving so slow. I didn't finish it, and maybe it was just the mood.
That wasn't that bad. I thought that movie was alright.
I mean, it was fine. It was very artsy. I think not knowing what I was getting myself into, just hearing that it was a good movie, and then it was like the director's debut. I was like, I don't know what to expect.
Okay, I'm back. I could watch The Witch a bunch. I could watch, there's a couple horror movies like that I could leave on. That are good.
I feel like, I know not a movie, but Haunting on Hill House you've watched a couple of times already too.
Haunting a Hill House, absolutely.
That
Like if we veer outside of like movies, like I've watched The Haunting of Hill House, like I've left that on in the background a lot.
What was the sequel? No, not the sequel. What was the one with like the Mothman type?
The vampire?
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert, everybody.
That movie, that show is old already.
I know. I'm just joking.
People should have watched it.
That was Midnight Mass.
Oh yeah, Midnight Mass.
I didn't like it as much as The Haunting of Hill House, but I thought it was good. Oh, I know. One of the worst movies I ever saw, it's actually the only movie I've ever walked out of, was Stardust.
What is that?
I can't even remember. It's like from a novel or a comic series, maybe. I'm not sure. But I remember thinking it was going to be awesome. And I left that movie. I don't know, like if I went back and watched it again, I don't know how bad it is. But I remember at the time being like, this is shockingly bad. And I had to leave the theater. That was it. That's the only time I've ever left a movie. I was like, I just was sitting there in the theater going like, I don't like this so much. I feel like I could be doing better things. I just got up.
I really like watching Running Man every now and again.
Running Man's good.
Dang, I haven't... You know, like, since not many people have cable where you can just flip through channels and find old movies organically. Isn't that a weird thought?
Yeah.
You kind of have to seek it out or have somebody show you now. Yeah, I feel like I stumbled upon so many of those.
When I was a little kid, I watched like E.T. about a billion times. That was like my number one for like most of my childhood. And then like as far as bad movies that I've watched a lot because just sheer art direction or something. Like I used to watch the Guyver movies a lot. Like a lot. Those were always on rotation for me. I was really big into movies. Like I watched, like if I rented a movie as a kid, I'd probably watch it, like, I don't know, probably 10 times before we returned it or more than that. That was back when like you just rent a movie based off of the cover. You have no idea, you know. If you're a little kid, it's like how the hell would you ever know what this B movie that nobody's ever heard of, like how would you ever know what the rating of that movie, like if it was any good, you just have to guess. And then like the amount of times I watch Beverly Hills Cop is just absurd. 48 hours.
Mikey Mega says, haunting really got under my skin a couple times. I remember screaming into a duvet. That was probably the only jump scare that I actually screamed. Like genuinely screamed. I'm not like a screamy type of horror person. Like that one made me scream.
Yeah, I just liked how unnerving it was. I thought they did a really good job. Just like Mike Flanagan in general. Like the way he handles that like Stephen King, like ramping up the tension horror. I really like that because like the thing that never comes across in those adaptations is that feeling, that the like gross feeling. Like if you've ever read the Tommy Knockers there's a really good scene where kids, I'm going to spoil this, so if you ever plan on reading Tommy Knockers, just, I don't know, cover your ears. So there's this really gross scene where, I mean, there's a couple of them, but the quickening thing is happening where there's a alien ship buried underneath the town, and everybody's getting like more intelligent, and like this strange things happening to the whole town, like it's affecting everybody, and stuff starts to happen where like at first it's like this really cool thing of like, wow, you know, they're able to like come up with new ideas and inventions and like more efficient ways of whatever day-to-day life, and then there's like a guy in the woods who has like this epiphany that like his dad had like molested him or something like that, like got access to like a part of his memory they didn't have before. I'm pretty sure that's what happens, and it's this really gross, like super uncomfortable scene, and then he kills his dad in the woods like with a gun. And then like another thing happens where there's like a little boy who's has like a birthday party, and he's doing magic, and he basically he does a magic trick on stage at the birthday party and makes his little brother actually disappear. And like his little brother is on another planet, like he can't breathe and he's dying in space, and his brother who just made him disappear is like having a full-blown panic attack trying to bring him back because he doesn't know what just happened. And like that level of like discomfort I never see replicated. Like that's a very specific type of like gross feeling. And The Haunting of Hill House is like the closest I've seen it in a show.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's exactly the thing I've been waiting for, is like how you're able to match that a little bit. Like that really gross feeling that comes from those scenes. I wish that there was more of like the B movie stuff. I wish that there was a market for that, where they could make like a Guyver movie. Like, I love those. I love those like little discoveries, especially when I was young. It's like coming across this thing I'd never heard of that has a budget for some reason, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you start watching it, and it's like super cool designs, like the story sucks, and somehow somebody made this. Like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, I love that sort of thing, because the VHS market was so big that you could gamble on these weird ideas and still make a return. Mm-hmm. And people were just making like all sorts of things that were just, maybe they landed, maybe they didn't, but I feel like so many of those had a huge influence on me as a kid that I don't know, like I definitely wouldn't have the same style or the same interest that I have now if it wasn't for like a lot of those. Like I barely watched like the mainstream movie in the theater type of stuff. It was all these like weird ones where like I really enjoyed going to the, you know, like Blockbuster or whatever and just finding the weird video and being like, ooh, what's this? I've never heard of this. Like I felt like I discovered something. Mm-hmm. And then you bring it home and you watch it, and like even if it's bad, it's like it's different.
It's new.
Yeah, and like there was a Van Damme movie called Cyborg. That's one of those that I always liked. Like there's a lot of funny parts to it, but there's a lot of like really cool things in it too. Mm-hmm. Where it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I miss that stuff. Now everything is like such a risk that the only kind of movies you see are very bland and obvious. It's not that much odd shit out there. And then some stuff comes out that's like really cool. Like The Witch was something like that. We're just like, whoa. Hey, there you go. I like the whole renaissance of like good quality horror movies coming out. That was pretty cool.
I think I should take adult ballet.
Yeah.
Learn how to be a ballerina.
You can.
And then learn how to become a figure skater. And then try to compete in the Olympics.
Okay, I thought you were going in the like gymkhana direction.
What's that?
That gymnast who goes to what's that fake Parmesan? And then fights all the people in the in like the castle.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I could do that.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, that was not on my mind. Parmesan was not on my mind.
I wish. Well, I say go for it. You don't want to have regrets.
You don't want to waste these arches. Look at that. Practically there. You see it?
Mm-hmm. And then if Parmesan does come up, you're ready.
It was gymnastics though, not ballet, right?
Hmm.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Okay.
movie.
Should I do adult gymnastics?
Why? How come when you say adult gymnastics, it sounds special? Like it sounds like you
Adult
have to have
beginner.
initiative.
Adult beginner gymnastics.
Why just saying adult gymnastics? Does it sound like you gotta take a special
Well,
bus over there?
I mean, I wouldn't start from like the kids' gymnastics class. I wouldn't start at ground zero.
Right down in New York.
Is Jim Cotta Canadian?
I don't know.
It's so funny. Hyperbolic echo chamber said saw Nosferatu last night. The theater was packed, even on Christmas.
Well, don't tell us anything about it. I want to see that movie.
Maddie saw it last night too.
Did you like it?
I think so.
Yeah, I really want to see it.
Adult gymnastics makes it sound X-rated.
I mean, maybe.
It sounds pretty sugar-coated. Usually the term adult pertains to something not suitable for kids. Well, perfect,
I
because
mean-
I'm not a child. I need to do adult gymnastics. It's not suitable for little kids to be doing the stunts that I'm going to be attempting.
Partaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hence
don't know.
adult
I don't know why
gymnastics.
adult gymnastics doesn't sound like that to me. It doesn't sound like sexual at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I really only think of gymnastics class as being for children. at first. Like, I don't know if I've ever even heard of an adult gymnastics class. It's like when a adult is doing karate with like 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy
that's
shit.
Actually, that's probably closer to what I was implying. Mikey Mega said, I got the vibe it leaned more towards the spectrum end of old people exercise videos where they're like sitting in chairs the whole time. That's kind of what I mean. It's like it would be like advanced age. It's like the nice way of saying it. Like, it would be old people gymnastics.
Just a bunch of those old people like trying to go through like the legs of the chair and get back onto the chair.
To me, it's the same. Okay, this is why I said adult gymnastics, right? You're gonna love this. It's because it's the same thing as having braces as an adult. It's something you should have done as a child, but you need to just distinguish that it's an adult activity because your parents couldn't afford it when you were a kid. So you had to do it later, like
Yes.
Adult braces.
Yes.
Adult gymnastics. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah. 50 minutes of warm-ups and risk assessments and then 10 minutes of gymnastics.
Just paperwork. You're not liable.
Geriatrics. Geriastics. No, I'm not a stunt actor. I'm just trying to find fun ways to stay physical in my advancing age. Some of these moms in this neighborhood play tennis, okay? And I need to be peak athletic performance. If any of the moms challenge me, I need to hold my ground because I'm one of the younger moms, okay? Can't have some 50-year-old lady beat me in tennis. I gotta be peak physical form.
You gotta put her in the fucking dirt.
So Maddie got me into skating and I suck at it, but I'm trying. And I'm trying to be physical. Trying to take care of my body. Why not do ballet? That seems fun. I know the name of Santa's 8th reindeer. Is it
Hojo.
Rudolph? Cody says if the focus of an image is a dark space, but there's a light source like a window, you wouldn't see any detail outside, would you? Like, would it just basically be a whitish square?
If your focus is the window, can you see, like, I would think about it from your perception. Like, what do you want the person looking at this image to see? Like, that's really it. It's like, because it could be either. Like, think of how your eyes adjust. Like, you could do the detail out there and have that be whatever style you're going for. Or you could do the thing where you just turned around and looked at it and it's like blown out and the lighting is super intense. I guess it depends how like abstract this image is or what you're trying to do. You're going for obscurity. I mean, like, part of the reason, you know, like, illustrations is you're illustrating something. You know, it's like you're illustrating a moment. And you have to think about why you're doing that. Like, with something like this, it's fairly straightforward. It's just some silly action shot of this robot fighting a dragon. I know exactly what I'm doing. It's like, but if you're doing something like that, there has to be some, like, purpose behind, like, why you're choosing to have that be the focal. Is there something out there? is it a distraction? Are you looking at that light source, but then there's other stuff in the room in the shadows that like you can barely see? What is it?
Have you watched any new horror movies?
I mean, not technically. I mean, I guess it's a horror movie. We watched Alien Romulus.
Oh yeah. There was parts. I don't know. I'm pretty lame with scary movies. I like them. I actually do like them. I'm not gonna, but I get really scared.
I like scary movies. I never get scared of them.
I actually get scared, but I enjoy it.
I like the buildup of suspense and like kind of like, I don't know. I just like watching them because the way they're made is cool to me. But I don't think any of them are scary. But Alien Romulus, I really liked a lot of the set direction and stuff. Like the actual atmosphere of the whole thing was really cool. The art direction was great. The only thing that stunk about it was the direct relation to like the original Alien. I really didn't like that. I thought like, and spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, looking forward to watching it. I'll try not to spoil anything cool. The whole like forcing in of the lines is so corny. Like, I don't know if that was like mandated to them by the studio to, stay away from her, you bitch. Like, it's like, why? Oh my god, this is so lame. Like, the fact, like, if that line wasn't in the movie, it'd be 1,000 times better. That actually took me out of the whole fucking movie. That and like the robot being back, like the original dude. Bad CG. It's like, why? Like everything else is practical. Then you didn't have to have it be the same actor. Like that sort of thing is like stupid to me. That's like the same issue I have with Star Wars, where like it's not that was just one robot. Oh, every robot that's that make and model looks like that guy. It's like, okay, why do they all have to look like that just because the old movie did? It's like they get so rigid with like the rules of that stuff. Like same thing with Star Wars. They're like, okay, that was that, so now they're all this. And it's like, why? Mm-hmm. It's so dumb.
Are we gonna watch Cuckoo, Terrifier, Longlegs, or I Saw the TV Glow?
I don't know. I heard actually the new Terrifier was good, but it's hard for me to get out of like when I look at that movie, it just kind of feels like I'd have to be the kind of guy that watches like wrestling and works at a haunted maze, like and gets fucking crazy ICP makeup and stuff. Like I feel like I'd have to be into that to like be into that movie. I know that that's not true and that's unfair and mean, but that's my bias. When I see the Terrifier's face, I just go, eh.
Oh, Late Night with the Devil. We watched that recently too.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how it takes you out of the moment when they like force those lines.
Yeah.
Iced Over says, it makes them think, did this character who is saying this line from Aliens also see Aliens? Like, did this character watch that movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anytime, like I don't know, like I'm not a fan of like any of that stuff. I wasn't a fan of it when I was like a kid, when they did like the Wilhelm scream in movies. Like I didn't think that was cute. I thought it was obnoxious to hear the same scream in every movie. And they were like, that's like a fun Easter egg. I'm like, it is. It takes me out of the movie every time I hear that one stupid scream. I'm like, okay, I'm watching a movie now. It's not like they do that in everything. If I'm watching a David Fincher movie, there's not like the Wilhelm scream and like these corny callbacks to stuff. You don't have to do that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. This has been fun. I got a training session in the morning.
Oh yeah, you do.
I gotta work out.
Dave is like really strong right now. It's kind of weird. I had like so much so that I had to ask him, how strong are you planning on getting? Because he just keeps doing it. Like increasing weights and stuff. And he, like the other day he told me that, how much did you do? 185?
I mean, it's not that crazy. I was just doing like whatever it was, like 30 reps of 185 deadlifts.
Whatever that is.
I mean, it's not that crazy.
That is crazy.
I wasn't like pushing myself that hard, but to
you
Kimmy,
even,
she was like
it's like
shocked
literally
by it.
been like 6 months of you starting to like work out again this intensely. It's impressive. Anyway, Happy New Year. See you guys in 2025.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. I'll see you. See you soon. Hey, let me zoom in on this. So that's the before and after of, well, just my Krita part. More to come, though. All right. Later, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. See you next week.